special edition of An Atheist Asks. Today I am going to be interviewing Dr. Stuart McAnulla, who is of the University of Leeds and one of the co-conveners of the UK's Political Science, Religion and Politics Specialist Group. Now you can see Dr. McAnulla's talk on New Atheism here on the channel, and I'll put a link into the card in one of the corners depending on which way it is, and you can see the full talk there. But in the meantime, I thought we could talk to Stuart, if I may, and have a bit of a chat about the state of atheism and research in the political sciences or the social sciences. So first, thanks for agreeing to have a chat.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, very pleased to be here.
And for people who haven't seen the talk yet, do you want to just tell them the name of the paper?
The paper was entitled Political Responses to the New Atheism. What I was trying to look at was the way that people from different political traditions have actually responded to the kind of provocative arguments that new atheists make. So particularly responses from the political left, so responses from Marxists and socialists. I was also looking at feminist perspectives, and also responses from political conservatives.
Yeah, again, to watch that lecture, just click on the eye in the corner. So in terms of atheism as a subject of study, how much interest was there in atheism sort of before the new atheist movement came up, and what is it like now?
I think it's grown recently, and for a few reasons. I think the last few years there starts to be more interest in the relationship between politics and religion for a number of reasons. Partly in some parts of the world religion is growing and spreading and becoming more influential in politics. But then in other areas like Europe, where traditional religion has actually been declining, still religion has been discussed a lot in the public sphere. So particularly in the wake of 9/11, 7/7 bombings, controversies about Islamism, and then a range of other issues like faith schools, same-sex marriage that have come up. There have been religious angles on those, and of course responses to those religious angles. And so the new atheists, I think, have served to spark greater research and scholarly interest in the area.
Right. So in terms of this new topic of atheism, some people might say, well, in the US, I think the latest numbers were, although there was an increase of non-affiliates, only 6% of the population actually identify as atheists. So would you say that atheism is actually quite a big topic that can be explored? There's a lot of work to be done in the social sciences, or is it such a narrow field that it really doesn't warrant that much research?
I think the area of what you might call non-religion actually is very big. The last few years there's starting to be more research into that. I think you can subdivide people who declare no religious affiliation into different kinds of groups. Some people self-identify as atheists, some as humanists, and of course there are complicating people. There are people who identify as Christian but have no belief in God. So there are all kind of mixes there going on. I think what scholars have got particularly interested in is we talk about religious nuns, but often in the past we haven't disaggregated them. So people are starting to do that kind of work and starting to look at, what are the kind of correlations between being an atheist or non-religious and, say, voting preference or, say, attitudes on social issues. So you're starting to get a lot more work in that area.
And I find that, of course, very exciting because it's something I care about. So in terms of studying atheism as a topic, is it really unique and very unusual in terms of how you have to approach it, or is it very common and sort of just like other social movements?
You could say there are differences in that, say, social movement like environmentalism or gay rights tend to start off with often a list of concerns or demands, actions that they want to see. The starting point of atheism, you could say, is a bit different in that atheism, according to some definitions, just means an absence of belief in gods. And it's possible to argue there's nothing particularly necessarily positive about that in itself. As soon as people declare themselves atheists, often a political dimension comes in. Often where people live in a society that's dominated by Christianity or by Islam, declaring yourself an atheist can be controversial, it can even put your life at risk. or just at a lower level, people can often feel uncomfortable about declaring themselves as atheist. So I think a political dimension emerges where people start to assert an atheist identity. And I think one of the things that's been interesting is that in the last 10 years is that those who've been writing about atheism have linked that to a range of political concerns. So one of the principal concerns of groups like New Atheists and a lot of other campaigning secularists is that they think religion has a privileged place in the public sphere. It's given too much respect, too much influence, and they want to challenge that. They also want to challenge social situations where people feel that they can't declare their atheism. So there's a kind of identity politics there. So in that respect, it's not so different from others. Then comparisons come in, and I think one of the obvious comparisons you can make is about in relation to strategy. So within environmentalism or within gay rights, you get some people arguing that you need to take a very confrontational approach, a radical approach, to kind of get in people's faces, stir controversy, versus other people who say you should be much more softly, gradually try and persuade people. So in environmentalism, this is often called the contrast between the spikies and the fluffies. And then when you get into atheism and secularism, you get the kind of new atheists, more provocative stance, versus groups that are known more as accommodationists, people that want to, happy to live alongside religion, or to acknowledge what they respect about religion and so forth. So a different kind of approach, but often they have the same kind of objectives, but a different approach to trying to achieve it.
Yeah. As someone who sort of embraced my atheism and decided to come out officially when I realized I was closeted, I was hiding my atheism from my family, I wasn't saying things in situations to protect their feelings. Then once I kind of became social, I guess, conscious rising, raising, then I went to look for research because I'm a social scientist, so I want to understand things empirically and causally and what are the control variables, and I was just, in some ways shocked at the lack of research, but then in many ways inspired by it too, because the research that's been done in the past, especially in psychology, has got really crappy measures, and it's been terribly done, and I think now we're in a position where we have enough actual people who are declaring atheists, we can start to have better measures, really look at the facets of it and try to understand it more as a social phenomenon. And so that's why I was really excited to go to your panel, to see your paper. I'm so happy that you agreed to let me record it and share it with everybody on my channel. So thank you so much, Stuart, for your research, for your willingness to participate. And I guess that's going to wrap it up because we've got some other things to do here at PSA.
Okay, thanks very much for having me on. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
So guys, until next week, I've been Christy, you've been awesome, and I'll see you later on An Atheist Asks. Bye.